Thanks, Ryan, and welcome everybody to another season. It's about number 35 for me, so enjoying it. Look, I get the wonderful opportunity just to wrap everything up that you've heard today, and really recognise the people within this club that make this club. I'm going to start with a group which is a really special group for mine. Sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional here, but the past players and life members. These are guys who have earned, through service to the footy club and impact to the footy club, men and women, I shouldn't say just guys, men and women who've earned the right to be a life member of the club. It's a significant milestone. It's great that we've got some of those guys in the room today, and I'd like to, if they could please be upstanding so we can recognise their contribution to the club that we're fortunate to be part of now. So for those guys, if you can please jump up, that'd be excellent. Thank you. This club's been built off the back of their efforts, and we should never forget that. So as we look forward, we understand their heritage, which is a part of it. Unfortunately, one member who can't be here today, who passed late last year, was Dr. Rod Moore, who was the club doctor for 26 years. He's a number one ticket holder, also a life member. He was a doctor, but he's also a friend, and we sadly miss Rod. He's a wonderful man. I remember a story with Rod. I came out of a pack one day and ran into a bloke front on, and I basically broke my nose and split my eye through here. And I came off the ground, and Rod said, I looked at it and blood was going everywhere. He said, just settle there, Don, we'll come and sort you out in a minute. And I said, what's the damage, Rod? And he goes, well, we'll put a few stitches in there, you've probably broken your nose. And I said, okay. And he goes, look, it could be worse, Don. And I said, how's that? He said, it could be me. And that was right, and that was Rod's sense of humour. So if you knew Rod, that was typical of Rod. So great to have those people here today. The other people I'd like to also mention is our staff. We're really fortunate at West Coast. We've got a high quality of staff. They do a mountain of work. You'll see them running around. They work not only during the week, but on weekends they'll come to game day. They support rooms. They help out as best they can across the whole range of things that we require from a staff member at West Coast Eagles, and we're fortunate to have great staff. There's also some new staff that have joined us, and I'd just like to acknowledge them. Since the end of last season. We've got in events Kate Hartwell and Jack Martin, who helped run our fan day and did a fantastic job. In corporate, we've had David Stedman step in membership in our team store. We've had Josh Reeves and Victoria Eletich join us recently. In executive, we had Kieran Jack from the Sydney Swans come across and join us there. In football, we've seen Daisy Pearce, Luke Shuey, Matt Innes and Paul Turk from a high performance join us. Matt Clark, who's now our list manager. Cohen Stickland, Neve Cran, who's come across from Ireland, who's a student, and Harry Taylor, who's doing some consulting work in our footy. In community, we've had Trey Rusco, Crystal Petreski, Jason Gilby come in, who are working community and also playing through our waffle team. And in comms, we've had Leighton Mansfield. So to those people who join our organisation, I say welcome and thank you for choosing West Coast. We appreciate what you do for us, and you're going to be a part of what we do going forward, and it's really significant for us. Just please welcome them, yeah. There's two staff in particular I'd like to recognise. Have done 30 years of service for us. I speak of Pete Cerise and Chris Summers, who many in the room will know from their involvement in the footy club. They've been, 30 years is a bit like as a player, 300 games. You don't trip over 30 years of service at an organisation without being outstanding and providing outstanding service. So to both Pete and to Chris, who celebrated that milestone recently, congratulations and thank you for everything you've done for the club and continue to do for the club across the areas which you're expert in, and I know everyone at the club appreciates and loves the fact that what you've done for us over many years. So thank you to both Pete and Chris. As was mentioned at the start, we're fortunate to have a great membership base. We have a great corporate and partners and premium members that support our footy club, and we're testing that how sticky they are right now, and we're really grateful and appreciating their ability to stay with us through this little period. And believe me, it comes in waves and it will pay you back, but we're fortunate to have, and I asked the membership to come up with a number, we're fortunate to have 643 people on our membership list who joined us when we started 37 years ago. I'm not going to name all 643, But to Barry and Carol and Frank and Leslie and Maria and Robert and Terry and Umberto and Velma, just to name a few, thank you. And we hope you've loved the ride, and we hope you'll continue to love the ride from here on in. But to our original members and our current members, we appreciate your support. We appreciate the fact that you're with us, and we appreciate that last year, as Adam mentioned, when things got tight, that's when you find out the fabric of your club, and they stood up strongly. And I'm looking forward to filling up Optus Stadium in 2 weeks' time when we come back here to play the Giants and seeing everyone there cheering for their team and getting behind the boys. So to them, thank you. Lastly, on to the 2024 season. Well, it promises to be one of, I believe, challenge and opportunity. And it's important that we lean into the challenge and we embrace the opportunity. And Adam's spoken about that. Every season is the same, I believe, in AFL. They're all different, but they're the same, if that sounds a bit weird. You're going to get ups and downs. You're going to have highs and lows, and having been in the game for a long period, you can go from a 10-goal win one week to a 6-goal loss the next week, and you're trying to work out why and how and everything else. So it will go up and down, and we expect that'll be the case. But we'll keep moving forward. As Adam outlined, we've got a pretty clear direction where we're going, and we're going to strive to continually improve. So don't let the results drive our psyche. Let's look for those improvements. Let's look for the signs that show that we're on the path where we want to go, and that starts for this weekend. In finishing, before I hand over to a little video, Neil Danaher said, if anyone saw his MND speech a few years back at the Melbourne Footy Club, and he said, when it's all said and done, more is said than done. And the reality is, there's enough time for words. It's now time to play.